If you refuse, there will be severe repercussions. But what makes you think you have a choice?
Sam, it's Charlie. Another request is ready for you. You'll find it listed as a main order on the DHV Magellan's delivery terminal. So you know, Sam, Fragile is currently looking into Lou. Meanwhile, Tarman is conducting a separate investigation into the giant mech that attacked you earlier. For now, we would like you to focus on extending the network. That is a task only you can handle. As the network grows in size, we will have much more information at our disposal to further our efforts. That said, you won't be able to proceed until the situation at West Fort Knott has been resolved. It appears that they're in dire need of additional supplies, to the point that they don't even have enough to prepare cargo for your next destination. This next order is intended to alleviate the situation. You're to restore the mine north of F1 and its monorail station to working order and link up West Fort Knott. After which, you'll deliver a large quantity of excavated materials from the mine to the settlement by rail. As this is a somewhat complicated order, I'll brief you on the details as you review the map. Anyway, I'd appreciate it if you could make this main order your top priority. All right, Sam. You'll need to work through several steps to complete this order. To begin with, collect the cache of materials waiting for you on the DHV Magellan. Take these to the mine north of F1. The location has been marked for you on your map. And when you arrive there, submit the materials using the terminal on site. This will allow you to restore the facility to working order. Next, access the terminal again to commence mining operations. If all goes well, a large quantity of materials should be extracted. You'll then need to deliver those materials to West Fort Knott. Consider making use of the monorail located at the mine to make life easier. Upon your arrival at F1, use the delivery terminal to submit all the materials for processing and to finally complete the order. That's all there is to it. So begin plotting your route to the mine north of F1. On this occasion, you'll be delivering some heavy materials. You can use a tri-cruiser to transport them. Alternatively, floating carriers can now be fabricated. These carriers are ideal for taking heavy cargo across terrain ill-suited to vehicles. If that sounds good to you, try fabricating one and loading the materials onto it. And when you're not using the carrier for cargo, you can hop aboard and kick the ground and use it as a makeshift skateboard. Just remember that floating carriers require chiral crystals to function, so keep a supply on hand.
Sam. Drawbridge credentials verified. Welcome, Sam.
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
Decontamination in progress. No anomalies detected. Welcome, Sam.
Well done, Sam. I've never seen a working monorail before. Think of all the stuff it could carry. All right then, why don't we extract some materials?
Please submit materials.
Very good, Sam. Now all you have to do is load the extracted materials onto the monorail for transport. Let's begin by accessing that delivery terminal.
Did you actually manage to restore the monorail? Awesome! With it back up and running, you'll be able to transport materials from the mines. Right. Sorry. Let's take a look at these materials you brought. Would you look at all this? I think it's safe to say we'll have nothing to worry about for a while. We've made some great strides in our research thanks to you. If it's all right, we'd like you to have this. Just wanted to let you know that we're increasing the amount of materials you can withdraw.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
Oh, here's a little something extra as thanks. I got them just for you. Figured they'd suit your style. They sure weren't easy to come by. A real collector's item, I hear. We really appreciate your help. At the risk of stating the obvious, it's going to take an awful lot of resources to restore the other roads and monorails to working order. But at least with this monorail operational, you can bring us large shipments of materials with relatively minimal effort. That's going to go a long way towards getting other sections up and running again. We can fabricate pickup off-roaders now, by the way. I'm pretty fond of them myself. It's a large four-wheel drive vehicle, boasts significant cargo carrying capacity for the hard-working porter. The driver's seat is in an elevated position and exposed by design. This allows the driver to survey their surroundings more easily and engage enemies with small arms if necessary. You can customize it quite a bit too, attach all kinds of different parts as you like. That said, a lot of parts are still in development, but you'll receive their data as soon as it's ready. The schematics for this vehicle have already been shared with everyone on the chiral network, which means that we can look forward to other people drafting even more new parts. Sure, the monorail network was extensive and once stretched across a good chunk of Australia's coastline. But repeated exposure to timefall has seen it degrade significantly. And with the constant threat of BTs and armed groups, it's not been possible to repair the damage. If you happen to come across a track layer, be sure to feed it any materials you can spare. Even a small contribution will make a difference. Anyway, just something to think about. We're so grateful for the assistance, Sam. You've been a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
You managed to save the day, Sam. The people here now have more than enough supplies for their needs. They should be able to prepare cargo for the next delivery too. But first, I have some information to share with you. about Lou. Return to the DHV Magellan so we can talk.
Order completed. Well done. Vehicle ready. Please drive carefully. Very impressive work, Saber.
Hey, Sam. How's it going? I have updates for you, if you have time.
I take it you've learned more about Lou?
We followed up on the message Deadman left for you at the lab. About how there was another BB-28, not Lou, who, according to the records, was decommissioned 4 years ago. The first time you and Lou met was about 2 years ago now, when you were entrusted with the BB previously issued to Bridges Corp's disposal. And together, the two of you made it all the way across North America.
Deadman and everyone else at Bridges, they all called Lou BB-28.
Right. Because that was Lou's serial number. You see, we found the records for the BB storage facility. By cross-referencing the data, we confirmed that after BB-28 was decommissioned 4 years ago, Lou was assigned the same designation and placed into storage.
So what you're telling me is that instead of getting a new serial number, Lou inherited an old one?
As for Lou's mother, following the C-section, it seems she passed away. And that pretty much is the extent of our recent discoveries. Without a still mother to provide support, it makes sense that Lou was kept in reserve. But we still have no idea who approved the serial number reassignment, much less why they did it.
Higgs said there were things I didn't know. Maybe this is what he was talking about.
I think it could be.
I want to know everything about Lou.
You're playing his game, Sam. Chasing after the past is what Higgs wants you to do.
I need to know where Lou came from. I have to know.
If you're sure, Sam, I'll keep digging. In the meantime, you should get plenty of rest before your next mission.
Tarman decided to leave a few books for you. Right there by your bed. Reading is a wonderful way to take your mind off things. Trust me.
Extraction was successful. It was transferred to a sterilized pod and sent to a separate facility.
Ready to proceed with corpse disposal? 1.
Sam, your next destination is the Northern Environmental Observatory. Like its Western counterpart, this observatory is a critical facility that will help us to monitor the changes taking place in the Australian environment. To bring it online, you'll have to navigate the canyon to the northeast of your current position. But before that, you'll need to link up another site en route.
Sam, the next site we want you to link up is called Rainbow Valley. A friend of Drawbridge is waiting for you there. Once the network connection has been established, they'll be joining us on the DHV Magellan. I recruited them myself when we first met in the UCA. You can pick up the order from the delivery terminal. I'm looking forward to seeing you both. Thanks again, Sam.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Feels good.
Perhaps you should take care of yourself. Very impressive work, Sam. EMT nearby.
Hold on a minute. Are you Sam? Then does this mean the drawbridge has finally come to the valley? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you could make it. It's an honor to welcome you here. Wow, just... wow. It doesn't get any better. We'll be hoping to see more of you in the future. The next step involves the Cupid, yeah? Okay then, let's do this.
Now displaying your current order grade.
connection looks strong and steady to me. That cargo you brought along is going to make a world of difference, too. It'll allow us to proceed with our terraforming initiative. Hopefully, no more towns will have to suffer the fate of the one down below us. Oh, we've shared our tar cannon data with everyone, by the way. I suspect you'll find it useful in your own work. Try it out. See if it suits your needs. You probably passed the town I mentioned on your way up here. At a glance, it might have looked like nothing more than a cluster of massive boulders. But those were once buildings. Places where people used to live. As the desert kept creeping closer, the town was abandoned overnight. They'd been forced to evacuate. The few who were left behind became BTs. Still, at least the exodus went to plan. There are no void-outs at any rate. Tar cannons are invaluable pieces of equipment that we use to combat forest fires. Now, while fires are a common occurrence in this region, water is a precious resource. So these cannons were developed as extinguishers that utilize the tar contained within the earth itself. They leverage the tar's viscosity, making them one of the most effective methods of combating fire we have. When deployed on the ground, they can both extract and discharge tar simultaneously. You can pick up the cannon and use it on the go as well, but you'll be unable to refill its tar reservoir while doing so. If you find yourself caught in a wildfire, you'll need to figure out when to shoot and when to move in order to make it out alive. This region was once filled with lush vegetation, over which birds soared and serenaded, until all that beautiful life fell prey to sudden desertification. We swore to do everything in our power to bring back what was lost. Around the time we got started, the APAC people showed up. With their help, we've been able to achieve a modest measure of success. But moving forward, we have to find a way to nurture and protect what little we have on our own. Thanks for everything, Sam. You and Drawbridge have helped ensure that these lands will one day be filled with life again, however long it takes. In particular, that comrade of yours has performed absolute miracles for us. If you're looking to link up with them, you'll find them in the ravine on the other side of the river, directly opposite this shelter. Come back and visit anytime.
Right. Time to meet up with our comrade. Let's see. They should be around here somewhere.
I'm grateful for everything.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam.
Go on, Sam. Follow her into that facility.
Thanks for coming, Sam. I'm sorry about just now. I didn't know who you were at first.
You're the picture of health, Rainey.
You too, little man.
You got some kind of a trick for dealing with timefall?
Rainey, it's been too long.
Fragile.
Can't wait to see you again.
What are we waiting for, Sam? Let's head to the DHV Magellan. Fragile. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet the old-fashioned way. Carograms are great, but nothing beats a hug. Well, I'm sure you already know. This is Rainey. She's a good friend of the cause.
It really is a pleasure to meet you, Sam.
Nice to meet you too.
Glad to see you in good health.
And it's so good to see you all again.
Your next order requires you to recover an escaped kangaroo, the subject of an important experiment. Seems the bushland area it hopped off to is one where the chiral density is extremely high, meaning you'll need to get it back to the animal shelter ASAP to ensure its safety. This is a ticking clock situation, Sam. I'll brief you on the details while you review your map. Accept the main order from this delivery terminal when you're ready to get underway. Hey Sam, Charlie here. Since this is your first order involving the capture and preservation of animals, allow me to provide additional information. The kangaroo you're looking for is somewhere in this area. Once you've arrived, use your Odra deck to begin searching for the creature. You can transport the kangaroo in your standard issue animal carrier. No need to fabricate anything unique. Get close enough to the kangaroo and deploy the carrier to capture it. It will be a bulky piece of cargo, but you should be able to carry it on your back like any other container. However, you will need to traverse some heavily wooded mountains as well as rivers and uneven terrain. Bear this in mind when considering what equipment to take with you. All right, time to proceed with route planning and final preparations.
Order accepted. Thank you. Hope I can count on you.
What in the world?
Feels good.
We have a situation, Sam. I'm tracking a fresh bushfire near the injured kangaroo's location. Clock's ticking. Secure the poor little bugger ASAP and bring the shelter onto the chiral network. Once the DHV Magellan can join you on site, we'll see what we can do about that fire.
Sam, over there! I see the kangaroo! Get close enough to put it in an animal carrier for transport. All right, time to make our getaway. Was marked as a dangerous location on your map, Sam. We could get trapped here by the bushfire. Keep moving to ensure that doesn't happen. Look out, Sam! Fire! We need to get away from here as quickly as possible. Still not sure how we survived that. Anyway, we have a Cupid to connect, right?
Good day, Sam. Drawbridge credentials verified. Welcome, Sam.
You must be Sam. We've heard all about you from your friends at Drawbridge. Go ahead and connect us to the chiral network.
Thank you, Sam. Don't worry about the fire. Rainey will put it out for us.
Tell me, though, who is she exactly?
It's been about 6 months now, since I first heard about the girl who brought the rain.
Whenever I stepped outside, the time pull came. There was nothing that I could do to make it stop. And they hated me for it. Including my parents, who told me to leave. I was the witch who brought the time pull. A monster to be locked up in a cage. A few even tried to burn me alive. The most dedicated witch hunters. I struck out on my own. I was alone for so long. In desperation, I enrolled in a special UCA program. Hoping to find purpose as a mother.
Hi there. You're safe.
But even after I got pregnant, I still couldn't find anyone willing to take me in.
I'm sorry.
No. We need to leave right now.
Please.
God, get out of here!
No one wanted anything to do with me. All they saw was a witch, to be hated and feared. Until that day. I'm so sorry.
Hey there. You're Rainey, aren't you?
Who's asking?
Someone who's been looking for you. For you and your power.
You want my power? Why?
You're a pharmacon. Medicine that can harm, poison that can heal. It's all in how you use it. Want to come work for me? I believe you can save the world.
You do?
There are things only you can accomplish.
Only me? Really?
Really. My name's Fragile. And I'm happy we could finally meet. I'm here for you. For both of you. I'll be your umbrella. And together we'll show the world the hope in your reign. Come on. Who wouldn't want the baby to catch a cold? Come on.
Thank you. That was quite the display. Drawbridge is even more amazing than we'd heard. Thanks to everything you've done for us. The animals are unharmed and the facilities are holding up just fine. It's a wonderful relief. Anyway, I'll check your orders now. The kangaroo seems to be good and healthy. Nothing to worry about. I hope you'll continue to work with us.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
The kangaroo you rescued seems to be alright, thank goodness. Oh, she's so very special to us, and we're relieved to have her back in one piece. Once she's had a bit more time to recuperate, we'll move her to the reserve next door where you can visit anytime you like. By the way, we've uploaded our decoy hologrenade data to the network. You can trigger it remotely once thrown, creating a distraction that'll lure enemies away. It might just save your life if you run afoul of any troublemakers. Well, we first found her in an area with high concentrations of chiralium. How wild animals are affected by prolonged exposure is something we still don't understand completely. But it's thought this may be a key factor in how chiral creatures come into existence. So, you can see why our wee girl would be an invaluable research subject. It's where we look after the animals in our care. The vegetation around here didn't die out like elsewhere, and we still have a reliable water supply. After we screen each animal in our underground facilities, we release them into the reserve and monitor their health over time. When that kangaroo you rescued is strong enough, we'll move her up top where she'll be able to stretch her legs. That being said, changes in the environment can have a profound impact on many species, causing never-before-seen creatures to appear, throwing the ecosystem into chaos. Which is why we strive to preserve native animals here for future generations. Cheers, Sam. You really helped us out. At this rate, we're poised to lose so many native species that predate the Death Stranding, and once they're gone, there's no getting them back. Between the bushfires caused by chiral cinders and animals behaving strangely and getting hurt, it's been pretty bad. But I've heard that these environmental anomalies might be resolved once and for all when Australia is fully linked up. So I've got high expectations for you and your friends. Speaking of which, how would you feel about assisting us with our preservation efforts? It'd be a simple matter of capturing any wild animals you see out on their own and bringing them to us. Even a few would make a real difference. Give it some thought, eh?
Well done, Sam. Return to the DHV Magellan and report to the bridge. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Rainey and her talents.
Order completed. Well done.
Please take measures with safety. Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam.
When she's outside, Rainey's constantly surrounded by timefall. But within a 1.5-meter radius of her body, a different kind of precipitation is observed. We call it core fall. Anything it touches is restored to an earlier state. In other words, it has the power to heal and repair, to counteract timefall's effects. Sadly, people only see the timefall, and not the remarkable woman standing in the eye of the storm. Still no signs of growth?
I should be due any day now. If things were normal, that is. But the baby's still stuck at 7 months.
She has still baby syndrome. Have you ever heard of it?
I met a few preppers in Mexico that had something like that.
They're not isolated cases. It seems to be happening everywhere. Though who knows if it's a syndrome or a symptom of something else.
Simply put, the fetus stops growing at about 7 months. To be clear, it doesn't die, but it no longer moves, as if it's frozen in time. Several treatments, including C-sections, have been attempted. Unfortunately, removal from the womb invariably results in death. And while not all pregnancies are affected, it's yet another contributing factor to the already low birth rate. The Genetic Diversity Conservation Initiative just isn't enough to compensate.
You got any idea what's causing it?
There's speculation that it's due to an imbalance in the beach itself. I'm sure it's been explained to you before that countless individual beaches exist, a multiverse of beaches, so to speak, and that they are all governed by an upper beach on a higher plane. Expansion of the chiral network to cover the whole UCA may have inadvertently disrupted the link to that beach. Or so they think.
BB units were also 7-month-old fetuses. So it's not hard to believe that the beach might very well influence the unborn.
While I can offer you no concrete answer, I can state that the plan to extend the chiral network into the Australian continent, to take it worldwide, is also intended to help restore balance to the aforementioned upper beach. And in doing so, it is possible that we may resolve the issue of still baby syndrome. Just
child. Is your cargo all right? Sure you've not been mistreating it?
Sam, it's Charlie. I'm pleased to inform you that you can now use the map on your ring terminal to check the weather forecast. We utilize information provided by Rainey, as well as local historical data, to make predictions. Take them into consideration when plotting your routes.
Tarman here. A short while ago, the tar currents became incredibly unstable. It's gotten so bad that the DHV Magellan can't travel safely. We're still looking into what might have caused this, and we'll be in touch the second we know more.
facility grounds.
Somebody lend me a hand!
Wait, are you Sam? Then does that mean you carried this hefty delivery all the way from West Fort Knott? Way to make an entrance. We welcome you with open arms. Now let's get this cargo of yours processed. Everything inside seems A-okay to me. What a relief. I hope you'll continue to support us in the days ahead. All right. Can you connect your Cupid to our facility?
Now displaying your current order grade.
And now we're finally connected to the chiral network. This should make our job so much easier. And to make your job easier, I've gone ahead and shared data for a suit I think you'll love. Oh, right. I also wanted to give you this as thanks. Introducing the Blood Boomerang. Throw it properly and it'll come right back to your hand. It's a reusable weapon in that regard. Folds up nicely too, so it's quite easy to carry. You'll find it's especially effective against BTs, so give it a try against the next one you meet. With the aid of your network, we should also be able to develop stronger measures to defend against belligerents, which we need since the brigands out west have rapidly improved their arsenal in recent days. Honestly, you couldn't have gotten here at a better time. Thanks be to you, we'll finally be able to focus on our research. As the chiral network has expanded, we're seeing more and more anomalies outside of the bounds of its coverage. This has led the brigands to conclude that the network itself is responsible for the worsening state of the world, which is why they're opposed to its expansion. But it's not like we can sit back and do nothing. If we don't try to improve things,
Humanity's doomed to go extinct. One day they started sporting a whole lot more weaponry, including grenade launchers with custom tranquilizing gas rounds. Thing is, the brigands don't have a chiral printer at their base as far as we know. So, where'd they get all the new hardware all of a sudden? Kind of worrying, don't you think? At this observatory, we focus on monitoring the behavior of tar currents. There's a patch of BT territory due north of here, and just beyond it is land that's currently being subsumed by tar. There's no telling when the facility will be lost to the tar as well. So it's important that we contribute to the research and development of countermeasures while we can. Incidents of tar current instability have grown more frequent, but we haven't been able to determine much more than that thus far. Thanks to the chiral network, though, we expect we'll be able to improve our instrument accuracy. After I moved to Australia, the locals learned me all the ins and outs of the boomerang. I then designed a new type that's effective against BTs as well. You infuse it with Doom's blood before throwing it. The bigger the charge, the greater the potency. Naturally, most people would have to rely on blood bags sourced from donors, but since you have Doom's, you can also use your own blood on the spot. Unlike traditional firearms, it hardly makes noise. If your enemies don't actually see you throw it, they'll have a hard time finding you. That said, don't expect it to do too much damage to humans. Not unless you manage to hit them in just the right spot, at least. We appreciate the help. Best of luck to you, Sam. The tar currents are acting up again. Guess it's back to work for me. Let's both keep on keeping on.
That was excellent work, Sam. Thanks to you, the better part of the Western continent has access to our services. Now it's time for you to head north and continue to expand network coverage. It is imperative that you connect all of Australia, stabilizing the environment and eliminating the remaining anomalies. There will be challenges, of course, but I know you have what it takes to overcome them. I expect more great things from you, in short.
Sam, this is Tom here. We believe that we finally determined the location of whatever's thrown the tar currents into chaos. The chiralium levels there are pretty high, though, and BTs are almost certain to be present as well. I hate to ask, but would you mind taking a look for us? It's close to your current position. I've sent you the coordinates. We're counting on you, Sam.
Order completed. Well done.
Disengaging weapons restriction.
spirits of the dead are close. Heads up, Sam. It's not safe. They're not human. Don't underestimate them. Wait, are they trying to lay a trap for us? The older thing is reacting to something. We should keep an eye on it and proceed with caution. There's too many. You can't handle them all by yourself. But maybe you can split them up. Take them one by one. He's escaped, Sam. Up into that tower. He's too quick. Must have gone up to the roof.
say nirvana? Is he implying this is some sort of realm for the enlightened?
You're right.
It's her, isn't it? The girl from before? I have no idea what just happened, but we should probably take her back to the DHV Magellan, huh?
Now displaying your current porter grade.
Careful, careful.
Come on.
Careful.
Come down.
You got it?
Come on.
Thanks.
This is what happens when she has nightmares, it seems.
There are those who connect with the beach during REM sleep, allowing a tremendous amount of chiralium to flow into their bodies.
Hey, is your wrist gonna be okay?
Yeah. We ran some blood and DNA tests on her. And checked her for signs of injury.
As far as we can tell from a medical perspective, her health is in perfect condition. But that doesn't make the crystalloid shell in which we found her any less troubling. Not to mention the tar-like fluid that came pouring out of it. We're still analyzing both. And there's more.
You mean those suckers?
Indeed. But that's not what I'd call them. Much closer to a chiral rash, I would say. You know how chiral allergies can sometimes trigger goosebumps? It's like that, except a fair bit worse. The tar-like secretions can accelerate the passage of time on contact, it seems.
We suspect she has dooms too.
And that when she's levitating, she's experiencing the nightmares common amongst sufferers.
That space or realm she left behind to come here. The fellow we saw called it Nirvana, I believe. But to me, it looked like the land of the dead.
Even so, she's a living human being. And I believe that she was born in that place. After things settled down, I spoke with her for a little. Or tried to. She was still in shock, which made it harder to communicate.
Did she tell you her name?
Doesn't seem like she has one. As far as I could tell. So, I named her myself. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, huh?
Sam, it's Charlie. We've recently received a report of brigands engaging in suspicious activity to the west. I'm sure you'd like to push on, but I don't think we can afford to ignore this. Please access the DHV Magellan's delivery terminal to undertake this main order.
Before I forget, Sam, it seems you left some cargo behind outside the Northern Environmental Observatory, where the tar bubbled up before we were whisked away to the other side. You remember all that excitement, yes? Anyway, Tarman was kind enough to collect your cargo for us. It's been placed in your private locker aboard the DHV Magellan.
Sam, we've received an urgent request from the Northern Environmental Observatory. Brigands to the west of the facility have got their hands on a large stockpile of weapons and have taken it back to their base. This happened shortly after the recent tarfall abated. The surrounding area was littered with a massive quantity of cargo that had been washed up by the tar. The brigands wasted no time gathering up everything they could and hauling it back to their encampment. This included weapons and gear unlike any we've seen before. And now we've begun observing new brigand units in the field. These ones are wearing red, reinforced armor, accented with luminescent light strips. As their unique appearance suggests, they're more resistant to damage. Melee and electrical attacks are especially ineffective against them. These units have clearly been outfitted for close quarters combat, and their sudden deployment is troubling to say the least. Their presence likely indicates that the brigands are gearing up for a raid of some sort. And if we ignore this development, the brigands could use their new toys to attack the observatory, and there's no telling what might happen then. So we need to seize all of them before they have a chance to do so. Moreover, the latest data from the observatory strongly suggests an explosion of some sort occurred just beneath the Earth's surface not long ago. APAS analyzed the shockwave and has concluded that it is consistent with the type produced by ground-penetrating ordnance. This leads us to believe that the cargo the brigands secured may have included powerful explosive material. Directly assaulting the brigands using firearms risks triggering these devices, and we cannot predict how that would affect the region. Any sort of catastrophic explosion may also have an adverse impact on the tar currents. It is therefore critical that you avoid combat and secure the cargo without alerting them if possible. I implore you to take on this main order, Sam. And soon.
Generator. Wouldn't want to be near that if it released its charge. Recovered everything then. Great. Let's get it delivered.
Process your orders in.
Whoa! Did you really go out and steal all that stuff from the brigands? Way to go, Sam. Let me get started on processing your haul. I can't find a single scratch on any of this stuff. You truly are one of a kind. You have accomplished so much, done things only you could have done. We want you to have this data as thanks. We've increased your allocation of materials. Our way of saying thanks.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
The guidepost data we just shared with you is great for making landmarks to prevent people from getting lost, even at night. And when you do place them, you'll find they're useful not only for getting your bearings, but also for creating routes that will facilitate travel for everyone. Aside from that, we've also made it so you can now use your PCC to fabricate bridges up to 80 meters in length. The rivers ahead of you are prone to flooding, so I imagine extra long bridges will be especially handy. Oh, and Sam, there's actually one other thing I wanted to talk about. Call it a little insight into the cargo you recovered on our behalf. It included a device I believe you guys have taken to calling a chiral jammer. These jammers are capable of disrupting the flow of local tar currents. In addition, You also recovered some explosives modded to be able to penetrate the ground and detonate within the tar. This would destabilize the currents over a large area. Needless to say, both these items could have been used to deliver an enormous blow to the chiral network. In other words, we've really dodged a bullet. But what I'd like to know is why this tech wound up in their hands in the first place. Can't chalk it up to pure chance. Honestly, it's almost like those brigands knew in advance that the tar was hiding cargo. We've got to consider the possibility that someone gave them a heads up. Food for thought on the road ahead.
Excellent work, Sam. You'll be happy to hear that tomorrow's regained consciousness. Once you're back on board the DHV Magellan, you should see for yourself.
Order completed. Well done.
Good.
Stop it.
Someone doesn't like shoes? She won't even touch any normal food. But at least we managed to convince her to take a shower. No, tomorrow. We don't do that.
Seems like a real handful.
She just needs some time to settle.
You must be tired, Sam. Get some rest.
Thanks for the help.
Sam, by linking up the various sites farther to the north, you'll eventually be able to establish a connection to Hartman's facility. In short, it's time to tackle the northern part of the continent. Start by bringing the F2 South Distribution Center into the network. Some of the staff there are former residents of Cape Fort Knott who managed to escape the city before it was swallowed up by the tar. In addition to overseeing distribution operations, they also protect the facility from would-be assailants. Unfortunately, local chiral contamination levels are extremely high, leading to disturbing reports of paranormal phenomena near the facility. The cargo you're tasked with delivering should aid staff in dealing with this issue. Accept the main order from this delivery terminal to proceed.
This cargo has been designated Do Not Submerge.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Now leaving chiral network coverage.
Might there be somewhere we can cross more easily? This river's rising, Sam. We mustn't underestimate the potential risks here.
You're with Drawbridge, I presume. Yeah, you seem like the genuine article. Welcome. Hope it wasn't too hard to track. I'll just need a moment to check your cargo. Wow, this is very nice. Cargo looks to be in perfect condition. You have been making a real difference around here. Keep it up, all right? All right. Go ahead and put us on the chiral network.
Now displaying your current order grade.
So we've been linked up, at last. There's also the necrobiotes you brought us as well. Feels like we finally turned the corner.
For our part, we've shared data for some custom vehicle components, as well as some sturdy combat boots. I'm sure the vehicle parts in particular will come in handy for combat and cargo retrieval. You need all the help you can get, because those armed survivalists waiting for you out east are far more dangerous foes than the brigands. They're a bunch of fools who won't hesitate to kill people, with no shortage of lethal weaponry. Though I'll be damned if I know where they got it. Make sure you're prepared before you head their way. Speaking of which, those combat boots ought to add some serious power to your kicks. You might want to equip a pair if you intend on getting up close and personal. We've uploaded some schematics for pickup off-roader parts. One of them is a heavy machine gun. It automatically acquires and fires at targets in range. It uses MP bullets for added versatility. It's effective not only against human enemies like armed survivalists, but BTs as well. The other part is a sticky cannon. When mounted, it independently scans for cargo in the vehicle's vicinity and collects it. You'll find it makes rounding up dropped cargo easier than ever. And who wouldn't want that? Pickup off-roaders can be equipped with 2 parts like these simultaneously. So choose whatever's best for the situation at hand. Some people have called me that. A while back, we had a situation with this group that went around looting whatever supplies they felt like. And I was the boxing champ who went up against these guys and sent them all packing with nothing but his bare fists. That's the story they tell, but it sure as hell ain't the truth. I didn't charge gallantly into battle and beat the shit out of them. I approached them in peace so we could work it out. I asked why they were stealing from other people, and they said it was because they didn't have the skills to live any other way. So I taught them other ways to survive, trained them a bit. Nothing more than that, really. In the end, all we had to do was talk to each other. They weren't like the other riffraff you find around here. And they're still here. In fact, working in this facility. If anyone around here deserves to be called a hero, it's you, Sam. I mean, you're the one trekking across Australia trying to bring everyone together. Anyway, right now, we're trying to develop equipment tailored to close combat specialists. If we succeed, anyone will be capable of fighting as well as the so-called Golden Fist. Feel free to lend a hand if our project interests you. They're not something just anyone should be messing with. Their affinity with the dead makes them dangerous. But that's also why we can use them to prevent the dead from attacking us. With that kind of power at our disposal, we can put people's minds at ease. Could solve all kinds of problems, I'm sure. Thanks again. We're glad to have you in our corner. With your support, we'll be able to do so much more for others. Stay strong and keep doing your thing. We're in this fight together.
Sam, you're the best.
Now get yourself back to the DHV Magellan and take a load off. Just so you know, tomorrow's been doing much better. Pay her a visit when you can, okay?
Order completed. Well done.
Just a little longer, okay? Raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. You know this song? So I just did me some talking to the sun. And I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know. The blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Okay, all
Raindrops
done.
keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
Are you alright, Sam? That was a gateway just now. It seems Westport Knot was hit hard, and their Cairo printer is no longer working. I'm afraid we won't be able to continue expanding the network until it's back up and running. Pick up your next main order via the terminal at the F2 South Distribution Center.
That's right, just sleep.
you made it out okay. Those tremors were intense, but we're doing fine here. I think West Fort Knott got the worst of it, though. Your cargo has already been prepared. If you could deliver it to West Fort Knott as quickly as you can, that'd be great. We need to support each other at times like these, so pick up the priority order from the delivery terminal right away. I'm counting on you, Sam.
Vehicle ready. Please drive carefully. Order accepted. Thank you.
That one.
Wowzer!
Gotta stretch my legs.
network coverage.
Sam, I'm so glad to see you again. We just got hit by a massive quake. I was afraid you might have got hurt out there, or worse. Anyway, I'll check your cargo. Well, I wasn't expecting to receive this in such great shape. You're something else. It's like a dream come true, this showing up on our doorstep. It feels as though we're always leaning on you for support. Please allow us to return the favor with this data. Just wanted to let you know that we're increasing the amount of materials you can withdraw.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
Thank you so much. We should be able to get our chiral printer in working order now. I've never felt tremors like that before. Not even when the tar currents were acting up. It makes me pretty concerned about other folks living nearby. But at least the monorail you patched up seems to be none the worse for wear. Hey, out of curiosity, have you restored any of the other large mines? They'd be a great source of materials if you were ever in need. Are you familiar with the island that lies north of our facility here at West Fort Knott? Well, there's a shelter on that island. The man who lives there only cares about his research and never talks to anyone. But I can't help worrying that he might have been hurt during the tremors. There are a few large mines in the northern part of the continent, not far from where you'll find North Fort Knott. Or where you used to be able to find it, I should say, before it was wiped off the map by a void out. As for the mines, no one knows if they were obliterated too. But if you happen to be headed that way, you might want to see if they're still around. You've been such a big help to us. Rest assured, our staff will see that everyone gets their share of the aid packages you delivered. A lot of people are going to be singing your praises before too long. Best of luck to you with everything.
Thanks for all your hard work. Everything there seems to be in order. But one cannot help but wonder what other facilities were affected. Anyway, you can pick up your next order from the F2 South Distribution Center. This one's a rescue mission, Sam. Someone's been taken hostage by the armed survivalists, and we need you to extract them to safety. The survivalists have been known to kill people, so you'll want to take extra care when preparing for this one. Oh, and it seems the tar currents have finally stabilized. So the DHV Magellan should be able to travel without issue. Call us if you need us. All right, Sam. Good luck.
Order completed. Well done.
Hey, Sam. Charlie here. This order is a hostage rescue operation. The target for extraction is this man. He was conducting a search in a mining region when communications abruptly ceased. He went there at the behest of the Dowser, who resides at the next facility you need to link up. Take heed that the mine in question is currently under the control of the armed survivalists, a faction whose members have no reservations about using lethal force and should be considered a serious threat. To make matters worse, some of them have been observed wearing armor as well as active skeletons. Such enemies will possess increased mobility and defensive capabilities. It would therefore be prudent to bring equipment to counter these advantages. There's no telling how much longer they'll keep the hostage alive. Moreover, saving him may help us to pursue future objectives in this region and beyond. Regardless, this is a matter of life and death for the Dowser's friend. Give your preparations all due consideration. He's counting on you, Sam.
man we came to rescue appears to be unconscious. Place him in a protective bag and get him to safety. All right, time to take our ailing friend to the Dowser shelter. We just need to figure out how to get over these mountains first.
Right. Gotta load cargo onto the shelf in the...
inside facility grounds.
There you are. Thank goodness. And you saved my friend, too. Give me a moment to take stock. Wow, he looks as healthy as ever, despite having been held captive in enemy territory. That's amazing. This eluded even me, despite my best efforts to find it. I was certain it was lost for good. Thank you. There's something special about you. I can tell. I think you might be just the person I've been looking for. This was meant to be. I can feel it. Bring me online with your Cupid.
Now displaying your current order grade.
So, I'm a part of the chiral network now, am I? You can't even begin to imagine how much this is going to benefit my work. As thanks, I've shared the schematic for a level 2 PCC. I sense you'll need to build all kinds of structures to deal with the obstacles you're going to encounter from here on out. For instance, this more advanced PCC will allow you to fabricate zip lines. And this zip line's design is even better than the one you used back in the UCA. I also have another gift to share. A schematic for a boost skeleton. Throw it on and it'll allow you to carry heavy cargo with relative ease. And prepare to be amazed when you give it a boost. You'll run faster than ever and jump even farther too. That's a signature feature. It also has shock absorbers that reduce the damage you take from a big drop. But don't forget that boosting consumes battery power, so make sure you've got enough for when you need to rely on these features. Oh, and in case you're wondering, that friend of mine you rescued is doing well. His condition is stable and he's just catching up on some sleep. I can't thank you enough for getting him out. I search for underground streams and mineral veins. My gift also allows me to perceive distant objects. So, people sometimes ask me to track down lost items for them as well. But I only identify the general location. I leave it to my friend to handle the actual retrieval. He'd gone out to secure an item I'd located. The request came from a drawbridge member, actually, Hartman. He said it was essential for his research into using the beach for jumping. Anyway, I used my gift to ascertain the item's location. We knew that area wasn't safe, but my friend was willing to take the risk regardless. And despite what happened, he still managed to complete the job. I'll admit, he can be a bit reckless, but when he resolves to do something, he always sees it through. Like the old design, this zipline enables an individual to travel quickly between two anchors. However, you'll find it offers greater comfort and freedom of movement to the rider. Also, the lines themselves can now curve ever so slightly if necessary, which makes zipping around more viable in areas with plentiful obstacles. You see, even if I know where the thing I'm searching for is, it doesn't mean I can get there. That's why I've been looking into tools like this to facilitate travel. And with any luck, I'll have more solutions like this to share in the near future. There's another request I'd like to send your way, but I'll need a little more time to get everything in order. I'm still in the middle of processing the item my friend recovered before he got captured. So, I hope you don't mind waiting. I hate to inconvenience you, especially since I wouldn't even be able to make this request if you hadn't saved him. Oh, by the way, do you like apples? My friend brought a few back with him. It's just a shame he grabbed them before they'd fully ripened. He's got a bit of an impulsive nature, just his way. But don't worry, they'll be ready to eat soon enough. I'll send them to you then. Thank you again, Sam. I'm glad you were able to get them out safely. That group was more dangerous than your average band of hostiles. Those weapons they were carrying were state-of-the-art. You'll need to keep an eye out for them in the future. Groups like these make me nervous about letting Tomorrow spend time outside, even though she's doing better. When you return to the G3 Magellan, you should see for yourself how much progress she's made. And get some rest. You're long overdue. I'm sure Dahlman's tired too.
Order complete. Well done.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Good as new to me. Hey, come on.
Tomorrow. I'm sorry, but you have to stay on board. It's too dangerous to go out by yourself. And you'll have to put on your shoes.
Look at this, Tamar. They're not quite ripe yet, but I think they might... It's okay, Tamara, really. For you.
running to the bridge for a quick chat? Glad you're here. I thought both of you should have a say in this. Listen, about the girl, tomorrow. This is the spot where we picked her up. We're still reading Tarfall activity there, which means there might still be a passage to the other side. It's possible she could still use it to go back home.
You want to send her back to that hellhole?
If that's where her family is, it's where she belongs.
You've got to be kidding me.
This isn't her world. She isn't one of us. That chrysalis, we found her inside. It was filled with a fluid that contained amino acids. One's identical in structure to the kind found in tar.
I'm sorry, there are amino acids in tar? As in proteins?
Of course. How else did you think that chiral creatures could emerge from it? Or to be more accurate, be born from it? Some have even theorized that the tar is a sort of primordial soup.
Wait, are you saying that tomorrow is a chiral creature?
No, not at all. Her DNA and cellular structure prove that she's human.
Well, the world we found her in was filled with the dead. Almost like some kind of beach. But tomorrow herself is alive. She's a living human being. We should look after her here. Women and children and the weak have always been easy targets. In every conflict and disaster, we're always the first to suffer.
But even if her world is as bleak as you suspect, she may still be happier there, surrounded by the friends and family she knows and loves.
Friends and family don't guarantee happiness. Not in the least.
I understand how you feel, but I believe she should stay with us. Sam.
I was there. I saw her home. And it was a hellhole. We can't send her back.
All right. I'm pulling rank and making the call. She stays. At least until things have calmed down. Understood?
Did you hear that just now? It came from the hall outside.
must have left in Magellan at some point. She's not wearing a room terminal, so we have no way of tracking her position. And the continent is full of dangers she's never encountered.
I should mention she didn't appear to have received even a single vaccination. So I decided to repurpose the batch Deadman left for Lou and gave her the full gamut. She's been immunized against just about everything, so you've got nothing to worry about on that score.
But she's still a stranger in the world that isn't her own. And I don't think she's capable of surviving out there. Not all by herself. Please, Sam. Find tomorrow for us.
And be sure to take a weapon with you, just in case. When you're ready, check the main order on the delivery terminal for more information about what to expect. Sam, something worrying came to my attention while I was searching for tomorrow. There have been a few reports of mechanized belligerents in this region. You should consider them hostile if and when you come into contact. So, review your equipment loadout via the delivery terminal and make sure you're prepared for anything. Only then should you pick up the next main order.
All of Drawbridge is committed to helping you find tomorrow. Let's bring her back home, Sam.
Look, Sam. Tomorrow's footprints. Why don't we see where they lead?
I'm counting.
Sam, look at that vehicle. It's registered to Tonua. She must have used it. Perhaps she was trying to make her way across the river.
Sam, I think I've got something. Check the marker I've added to your map.
What's that one?
found tomorrow's trail. Check the marker on your map. It may help you track her down.
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
Tomorrow might have been the one who placed this ladder here. Did your Ultra deck just move? I don't sense any BTs. Be careful, Sam. It may not be a BT, but something's out there. Are these the mechanical hostiles Tarman was telling us about?
We've got a lead on tomorrow's whereabouts. You'll find a new marker on your map. Use it to refine your search.
That's the way. mine. Look that way.
Sam, we have to deal with these mechs first. We can find tomorrow once that's done. Excellent work, Sam. Now then, let's see if we can learn anything of use from this jacket. It could point us in the right direction.
Thank you.
I didn't have anywhere else to go.
Were you trying to find your way back?
I suppose you have friends and family there, waiting for you to come home?
I don't know.
Everyone there has passed on. There's no place for the living in that world.
Tell me, am I really alive?
Well, yeah. Of course you are. Do you want to stay with us on the DHV Magellan?
But I saw how everyone was fighting because of me.
I'm sorry.
All that wasn't your fault. We're just worried about you. Wait.
I don't think I ever had a family. Do you have one?
No. Not anymore.
You miss them?
Yeah.
So, I can stay on the ship?